Okay, so now we're going to pin our rows together. So this is fabric number 1, and this is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So what I've done is I've typed this up to show that this is going to be pattern 1, and then these are going to be pattern 1, pattern 2, pattern 2, 2 and 2, or 1, 2, 3, 4, and then instead of starting with 1 this time, you're going to start with 2. So 2, 3, 4, 5. Same thing this time, 3, 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6, 1, and on down the line. If you want, print this. It makes it a whole lot easier. So I'm going to start with row 1, and I'm going to pin them. So I'm going to take my first one right here is 1, and I'm going to keep this 1 here because that is my upper left corner. And then right below it is a 2, so I'm going to take a 2. I'm not going to take the one that has the number attached to it because I'm going to save that for row 2. And then I'm going to place this right sides together, and I'm going to pin it and then sew it. So I'm just going to pin, and I will make sure when I get to the sewing machine that I've kept everything straight. Right now while I'm pinning this on video, it might move and slide a bit, but when I get over there I'll make sure it's straight. Okay, so if you look at this, I've got 1, I've got 2, so now I'm going to take 3. Yes, I just poked myself with the pen. I'd like to say that doesn't happen often, but it does. Okay, so again, right sides together. And sometimes I pin down here at the bottom so that it doesn't shift. So if you're not sewing very straight, that is an option for you. Now if we look back on the template here, we're going to pick up one of number 4. I'm going to attach it to 3. And then to 4, we're going to attach one of 5. I hope this is not confusing you guys. This is the first time I've done it this way. Normally I put them on the design wall, but I've posted the picture right in the middle of this video of what this is going to look like. So if you need to rewind, and then we're going to attach number 6. Now if you don't want to pin, you could just stack all those together and go over to your sewing machine. Okay, so I've got row 1 ready to sew. I'll take this over to my sewing machine. What we're going to go ahead and do is pin the second row. So row 2 starts with 2. So I'm going to pull this first one, because remember that will help us determine our rows. So then we've got a 3. And I don't think I have to show you all of these because it's basically you're just matching up your rectangles to form your rows, and then we're going to sew a 1/4 inch seam. So I'll go ahead and pause the video and get out my sewing machine and we will start sewing, okay? Okay, so I have already sewn together row 1. So this is my entire row. Not that you can see it all in the camera, but I'll show you soon. So now what I'm going to do is actually sew the second row. So I've got that all pinned here. You just want to make sure that you don't stab yourself with a pin, which I typically do at least 1 or 2 times on every quilt. So I'm just going to place it here on the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a 1/4 inch seam, and I am going to back stitch, even though some people say I don't have to. I like to do so on my quilts. So if I don't, sometimes the ends come a little bit unraveled, and then I have to go back and sew again. So I'm not going to have that happen. And there's the first one. So then I'm just going to move down to the next one. You can see where maybe waiting until you get to the sewing machine to pin would make it a little bit easier. It's not hard, it's just you run risk of stabbing yourself with a pin. Okay, so I'm going to stop the camera now, and when I get all of these sewed together, I'll be back.